Alright, we're back, and we have another beer sent to me by the Hellbino Rhino, and this is pretty cool. This is from Boulevard Brewing, out of Missouri. And apparently I've had a Boulevard beer before, but I can't remember it. It was back during the Hellbino Rhino's Beer Fest, and I'm going to have to look back on YouTube and find that review, because it definitely wasn't one of my reviews, so... yeah, anyway. I was informed that I had another Boulevard beer. I thought this was my first one, but I was wrong. So this is Boulevard's Smokestack series. Their Tank 7 Farmhouse Ale. Apparently the Tank 7 is like their infamously stubborn tank or some shit like that. I don't fucking know. 8.5% alcohol by volume. So pretty goddamn big for a Farmhouse Ale. Let's see what it says here. Barley malt, wheat malt. They don't have the story on this thing, so best by 22/04/2016, so April 22nd, 2016. Probably could sit for even longer than that, really. Duvel Mootgart, they have it on the label now. The full transition is there. And yeah, that's about all you need to really know about that. I like that label. I think that's a pretty sharp looking label, honestly. So, that's awesome. So thanks to Chad. We're going to try this thing out. They actually recommended on the website, or did they? No, they didn't. I looked at Rate Beer for a recommended glass for the sucker. Not that it really matters, but whatever. I'm a little tipsy, so I sometimes go into tangents where I look up stuff like that. A lot of carbonation, which is pretty typical for the style, if you're going for some sort of Belgian type style there, or Northern France sort of style. And she's a pale golden straw color, approaching amber, and it's looks very filtered. Or, I mean unfiltered? Yeah, and it is. It's not chill haze on that sucker, it's just unfiltered, so it's nice. And we'll go right to the aroma. Ooh. So, reminds me right off the bat of like a wheat beer, especially like a Belgian wheat beer, because you have that yeasty, estery smell. You get a little bit of a sort of a candy, banana kind of thing going on, and you get a lot of sort of musty wheat as well coming up in it. So yeah, very perfumey. Reminds me of Hougly, honestly, very much so. Although perhaps maybe a bit more perfumey than Hougly. Not really getting any sort of clove character or anything like that. But yeah, honestly it smells like somewhere in between a German Hefeweizen without the cloves and Belgian wheat beer. So it's within sort of that kind of range for the aroma. And it smells very, very nice. And we're going to go right to the taste. Without ado, we will go into it. Cheers. Okay, first thing I'll mention, 8.5%, not there. You don't detect it at all, which is nuts. Okay, maybe I'm getting a teeny bit of warmth in the background, but really it's not there. You could mistake that for the sort of spiciness that's in this. It's got this sort of innate little spicy character to it, a little bit of a kick. Has a sort of a sweet estery note up front, not quite banana, but close. Getting a lot of a nice sort of nondescript citrusy character in the finish. And that wheat malt comes out as well. You get that wheaty kind of wheat beer body. So, you know, if you were just going into this blind, ooh, I'm almost getting a clove-like character. I don't know if it's cloves or if it's just, no, it's more peppery. It's more peppery, yeah. Nice peppery, lingering finish on it. If you were just going into this blind, you didn't know it was a quote-unquote farmhouse ale, you would think this is kind of like a standard Belgian wheat beer, honestly. It's very close to that. although it doesn't quite have, typically you'll have like a coriander or some sort of orange peel kind of note going on. It doesn't really have that here. There is a nondescript citrus thing going, like I mentioned, but it's not quite there. It's more, maybe more on the sour side, more a little bit lemony. Getting a little bit of a bubblegum sweetness out of it now as well. That's hell of a good. That's really good stuff. It's not mind-blowing, but it's really, really damn good. I mean, honestly, if you were to ask me, I'd probably take a Hougly over this, just because Hougly's going to be more drinkable. I'm going to be able to drink more of it. Like this, dangerous. 8.5%. I'm not going to touch more than 2 bottles of this, right? Hopefully I'm not going to touch more than 2 bottles of this. But for Hougly, you just go right through a 6-pack and maybe even 1 or 2 more. And that's totally fine. But with this, like, you got to watch what you're doing. But it's a beautifully constructed beer. There's no bad notes on it at all. If you're a style Nazi, it definitely does not fit the Farmhouse style as far as alcohol goes. As far as taste profile and stuff like that, it can be basically anything, because a Farmhouse ale, if you go right back to the real Saison Farmhouse style from where it originates, it's a low alcohol beer, it's a low alcohol pale ale that could have any number of different spice characteristics to it, whatever the fucking farmer at that farm threw into it to, you know, give it flavor and spice it up and stuff like that. So, I mean, this fits within that, you know, perfectly, because it can be anything. It's basically a Farmhouse version of a wheat beer, you know. But the alcohol is in a North American addition to this sort of style, the high alcohol. And, you know, I guess, you know, I'm sure I'd have a bunch of rape beer and beer advocate assholes who think they know what they're talking about just bitch at me because, you know, I'm complaining about the high alcohol. Well, they can go fuck themselves, of course, because, you know, they think they know better or whatever. But you know, whatever. If they're the prevailing voice that determines what the style actually is, then that's fine. I don't really care. I'm not much of a style Nazi. I don't care that much. But yeah, this is really good. I'm rambling now. If you did not notice, I'm a little drunk, halfway to drunk, so I'm starting to ramble a little bit. So that, you know, there we are. But what are we going to say about this one? You know, it's really good, really solid. I've had better beers that sort of fit loosely into this style, better wheat beers. Like I said, Hougly, I would take Hougly over this, honestly. As much as I like this, I'd still take Hougly over it. I'll go 4 out of 5. It's really damn good. It's just not mind-blowing or anything. It's just, you know, it's a really perfectly great example of what they're going for. So yeah, Boulevard, Tank 7, Farmhouse Ale, 4 out of 5. Really, really nice stuff. Worth picking up. You want essentially you want a Hougly that's going to kick you in the ass. That's what you get out of this fucker. Alright, thanks to Hellbino and Rhino. Thank you guys for listening to me drunkenly ramble now for 9 minutes, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.